Hello everyone, welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky. So we are going to be making meatloaf, but it will be low carb and keto. It will also be gluten free. There is no grain in this. So it's totally gluten free. It's keto, it's low carb. There's no sugars, especially in the sauce on the top. So we're diabetic friendly. We're whole food friendly. I always try to keep those categories in there. And we're paleo friendly. So it fits all of our categories for healthy living. So this is a delicious meal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the meatloaf and explain why we don't put a topping on it. And then while you're making your meatloaf and you're a few minutes from being done, I'll give you some recommendations for maybe a veggie on the side. So we are going to be making a meatloaf. The first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 375. I thought so. I had it on 350. Okay, good thing I double checked. All right, you want 1.25 or 1.25 pounds of beef. Now, I'm going to recommend an 85-15, not the full 80-20. There's going to be too much grease in there, but not fat-free because we're going to be adding cheese. So I'm going to recommend the 85-15. If you can get grass-fed, which is what I have now, I've noticed it's a lot more flavorful. And normally it's more expensive, but when I went to the store last, it was the same price. So I was able to get grass-fed for the same price as regular. I understand. So if you need to buy 85-15 regular, please do so. The big problem is you buy them in 1 pound, and I said you need 1.25. So what I'm just going to suggest for the other 3/4 is to pre-cook it and save it and use it as a meat in a spaghetti sauce or stuffed peppers or something for the future. Then you don't waste any meat, and if you pre-cook it and freeze it, it'll last you a long time. Just thaw it before you're ready to cook with it and you'll be good to go. So here we are. Meatloaf. I have 1.25 pounds of the grass-fed, but like I said, any 85-15 for the type of beef in here. To this, I am just simply going to add a packet of ranch dressing. Now, low carbs, this is good, and I'm low carb. Keto, I know sometimes the packets of ranch dressing are a little iffy because they do contain 1 carb in the entire package, but I know that that is an issue for some of you guys, and you can always Google. I'm low carb, so I'm doing this, but you can Google how to make ranch dressing, and I know many have done that, and then that would be 3 tablespoons. But I'm just gonna go ahead and use my packets. All right, and then to that, 1 cup of Colby Jack shredded cheese. 3 ingredients, guys, that's it. 1.25 pounds of 85-15 beef, 1 package of ranch dressing or 3 tablespoons of homemade dressing, and a cup of shredded cheese. Now what I'm gonna do while I'm talking to you guys and giving you some ideas is I'm just gonna get my hands in there and mix it up. Make sure you have a loaf pan ready to go. Now, I did not do anything to my loaf pan. I did not pre-spray it at all. I have a ceramic one. Now, if you have a metal one, you might want to pre-spray. I have a ceramic one, so I'm not too worried about it because I know that with 85, there's going to be some grease coming out that should just naturally fill on the sides and keep it from sticking. And if I don't have to grease a pan, I don't want to grease a pan. I also just personally really like the ceramic coated loaf pans. I think it gives overall, it gives even heating when it's cooking. So that's just my personal on that. Sides, meatloaf. You're trying to think, when I was growing up, meatloaf, that was a good potato night, right? Good potato night. So I'm going to be making cauliflower mashed potatoes. And I'm going to fancy it up and do a roasted garlic. And I'm going to add some Kerrygold butter. So it'll be buttery garlic mash with some roasted garlic in there. And that'll be a side dish. And you don't have to worry about adding those extra carbs into your meal, and it's perfectly good. The reason we do not add a topping to this when we're cooking, usually you add a topping near the end. Some people just do tomato sauce. Some people like to add some brown sugar and all, or if you're low carb keto, add the brown sugar swerve. Because this has so much cheese, it's going to be very cheeseburgery with a hint of ranch. So that sweetness is not going to work. So you're just going to want to leave it as is. So I'm going to place it. Got it. I got it all right here. So I'm just literally going to flatten it down into the loaf pan. Nice and easy. Super, super easy. And depending on your diet, you can either make like a homemade cauliflower mash, or you can buy it and microwave it. Other things that I'm thinking about with something meaty, green beans always go well with things that are meaty. Brussels sprouts and bacon would go good with something that's meaty, but just give yourself a good healthy vegetable on the side. Let me wash my hands real quick, just because of all the meat before I touch anything. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I hope that you're all having a fabulous, fabulous week. Out here in Tucson, we are having what's called rodeo days. So I had today off of work and tomorrow off of work. It's a Tucson, Arizona thing, and we love it. Normally there's actually a rodeo going on here in town, and with that, which is, you know, a lot of fun. We have cowboys that come in from all over the world. They fly in, they drive or fly their horses, and it's also known for the only non-motorized parade in the country. No electric anything. However, with COVID, it's canceled this year, but they still gave us our 2 days off school. So as a teacher, I'll take it, but I am hoping it returns next year. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to tell you about the nutrition that I found. This recipe is from a friend, so she didn't know it. So what I did is I went on to a carb calculator to try. So if I'm a little bit off, I apologize, but I'm going to do my best. So it goes in the oven for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of your loaf pan. I have a huge loaf pan, so I'm going to set mine at 45. If you have the standard medium-sized loaf pans, yours are going to be closer to an hour. So just kind of judge it. You can always poke it with a meat thermometer. Make sure that you are fully done. The cheese will make it have a nice golden topping. All right. I don't know what I did here. Okay, here we go. All right, so while I have that cooking, let me go over the nutrition. And I really do hope that you guys make this. So what I do for the sauce, most people like to dip something in. At the table, I am going to have out plain old sugar-free ketchup, because with the Colby Jack and the meat and being burgerish, you might want to have a ketchup because it's going to be kind of like a burger. So I'm going to have some sugar-free dressing by Primal Kitchen is what I would recommend. There's not even a sugar substitute. It's totally sugar-free. You could also do plain tomato sauce. Another thing that I've tried, and I really, really like it, is the barbecue sauce. Something about the ranch and the cheese and the meat, having some of the sugar-free barbecue sauce as a dipping sauce might be good. So just a little heads up. I just put that out at the table and people can do what they want, but you don't want anything sweet. All right, here we go. Review of everything for you. This is low carb, keto, paleo, whole food friendly, diabetic, gluten-free. Okay, that's a lot. That's meatloaf. 3 ingredients, 1 1/4 pounds of 85/15 beef, preferably grass-fed, get the other if you need to, a package of ranch dressing, and a cup of shredded Colby Jack cheese. Mix it all together, put it in a loaf pan, and cook for about an hour on a regular size loaf pan. Mine is one of the big ones. I'm starting at 45 minutes, and I'll adjust as needed. So for calories, what I did is I put in calories for a 1.25 pounds of meat, a package of ranch, and a cup of shredded jack. I totaled it up and I divided by 6. A traditional loaf pan makes 6 servings. So with that said, it's 420 calories. It is a little bit higher on the calorie side. I will say that. It's a 420 calorie meatloaf, but your burgers are going to be pretty high too. 26.7 grams of protein, but here's the cool part, 0.8 of 1 net carb. because the cheese, when you divide it out by 6, and the ranch, when you divide it out by 6, is very small. It's only 0.5 on the ranch and 0.3 on the cheese, and meat has 0. So you're in good shape with your carbs, which is why I suggest a super healthy vegetable, so you don't have to worry about the calories if you're counting calories. I only count carbs, so I know that I'm within my daily carb intake. So no matter which end of the spectrum you're in, it will fit. I will be back when it is done, and I will plate it up with the mashed potatoes and show you what it looks like. And I really hope you guys make this. It's delicious. All right, thanks. The meatloaf is done, and might I say, it looks absolutely wonderful. So without further ado, I'm gonna try to just give you a look. I might do it like that. So here is the wonderful, wonderful meatloaf, all the way cooked through. You can see the cheese on the top and cauliflower mash. Any vegetable on the side will do. Have your condiments at the table. Enjoy. Feel free. I would love to hear from you guys. Please either comment on Facebook or comment on the YouTube channel. Let me know if you liked it, any questions about it. I will also let you know that I'm looking forward to next week's Thursday night. Thursday night is always when I do it. Thursday night we are going to be making homemade chicken nuggets. So looking forward to making that with you guys next week. For now, please subscribe to YouTube. I would really, really appreciate that. As well as feel free to comment on both the YouTube and the Facebook. Enjoy.